we go, here we go. Oh, yeah, it's me, your favorite country boy, the Louisiana country boy, along with your favorite diva, the little diva. And it's time, my people, it's time, What time is it? Check the clock. It's time for the real conversation with a twist of humor. Live. We are the longest consistently running Monday night podcast. Live Monday night podcast. Let me add, we are the longest consistently running live Monday night podcast. You got it. It's us. It's your people. And here we go. Let me welcome the queen. I don't know why she hiding over in the corner. It's the one.
What's going on our screen?
Favorite diva, the little diva. Welcome, diva.
Hello.
Why is you?
Lots going on in my world today. So sorry.
I see you flossing your hair over there.
Huh? Yeah. Y'all gonna see me back in short hair next week, I believe. I'm gonna be slanging with short hair.
Shout it. Shout it. She said she can.
How y'all been doing? Hope everybody's been great. We're gonna talk about ageism today, and we're gonna flip the script today. We're going to talk about our weekend after we talk about the topic, because we will be talking about our whatever. We won't even get to our topic like we did last week. But country boy, if you don't mind, can I give a quick little tidbit on about ageism? But then we're gonna start the conversation. We really hope y'all call in.
Yeah, well, before you give your tidbit about ageism, I need to give a tidbit to the people.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, let me give a little tidbit to the people. First and foremost, here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for watching over and protecting and guiding each and every one of us. Father God, I want to say thank you. Thank you for those who are listening. Father God, I pray that we say something this day that may encourage, uplift, and support somebody else. Give somebody something that they couldn't get anywhere else. Father God, I just want to say thank you. Use us. Thank you for the people who tuned in. Thank you for the people who will listen later on. Father God, I ask these prayers, continue to watch over and guide all of us. Father God, I pray for the families that are going through whatever they may be going through. I pray for the individuals who are going through whatever they may be going through. The fact is they're going through, and there's another side to whatever it is they're facing. I want to send a special prayer out to my sister Jackson CB. I want to send some prayers out to them. Father God, continue to watch over, continue to hold them, continue to protect them. I want to say a prayer to my nephew who just lost his grandmother. I want to say a prayer. Father God, give him the strength that only you can give. I ask these prayers in your son, Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. Here we go. Did she?
Okay. I didn't. I'm working on 3 different things.
She was.
I am so glad that this has become a regular thing, because I must say I wasn't expecting. I would have not said anything, but I didn't know. I know you've been doing it lately, but I asked you some time ago, and you was very not happy about me asking you to do it. So now that you're doing it, I didn't know that this was something you were gonna start doing weekly. But now that I know, cool. Because I did ask you when we first started showing, you made me feel uncomfortable. So I said I'll never ask him to pray again. Never will I ask him to pray again. And I won't be praying public again the way y'all so uncomfortable. I will never pray publicly again. Okay.
Don't say never, because yes.
Let me tell you something. When I tell people about paying, when you're on a cruise, and I say pay through me, don't pay through Carnival, go through us. Somebody paid through Carnival, and they want to know they're gonna get their money back. I don't know. I got to go see, because it depends on what deal you did. Some of them Carnival have the way you don't get no refund. And that's why it's better to pay through the people that say pay through you. Anyway.
Well, like Mama said, best lesson, about lesson.
Yeah, but I mean, they can still go. It just won't be with me.
You're more than welcome, Miss Julie. Thank you for tuning in. Love you, girl. Love you. Look here, we do have a topic tonight. And we touched on, like I said earlier, we touched on a little bit last week. We didn't get a chance to give it its due justice. So we are going to kick off instead of, as the little diva said, instead of kicking off with how our weekend was, we're going to end with that. We're going to kick off with this topic because it needs, it deserves as much time as we can give it. We're doing something tonight we have not done in a long, long, long time because I just didn't feel like doing it. So tonight, there's an opportunity for each and every one that's listening. If you want to chime in on this subject that we are touching tonight, you're more than welcome to call in. You're more than welcome to give us a call. Give us your opinions. Give us your thoughts. Give us your feelings about this subject. Know this. There's no judgment here. Your feelings are your feelings. Your thoughts are your thoughts. Whatever it may be about this subject, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to call in. Please pick up the phone, dial in. If you got a comment about this, we're going to talk about ageism. My co-host is going to give you a little backdrop so that because you know why? I'm going to tell you this. I called somebody today, right? Not really a millennial, but like whatever it is right before that. And you know what they said?
What they say?
We might call it something different. So what actually are you talking about?
Yeah.
So we are going to drop it in tonight, and that is the subject. That is going to be the topic. So I will shoot this number out. So I'm going to shoot it slow because I know how y'all be talking. So you can call in. The number is 832-368-0348.
You already got to start over. Say that again.
832-368-0348. That is the call-in number for tonight. Bless you. That is the call-in number. If you have a comment, if you have a statement that you want to say right here, no judgment. Your opinion is valid as ours. So here you go. Shoot them up, little diva. I'm gonna sit back.
Happened? Something happened to my screen.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's them people next door.
You don't see nothing different?
That's them people next door.
Well, I can't. Hold on, because I can't do nothing.
Because you live. I see you live. I see you looking.
Yeah, I see me, but the screen, like the letters on the side have. Or maybe I did this. Let's try.
You did something because you just made mine huge. You made it huge. You made it so big. Look, I was about to go get my glasses. I don't even need to get my
glasses. What the heck happened?
Actually, I was going to try to get my glasses. But all right. Once more again, I can give you, while she's trying to get it together, the call-in number for tonight, 832-368-0348. If you want to call in with a comment, statement, kick me off the screen. How you going to kick me off? And then put me on this side. I don't like sitting on this side. I'm going to sit over here.
That ain't your side?
I sat over there. I sat any way you put me. But, now you done took me out completely. I'm just, what? She is, there you go. Why she's clicking, but I don't know what now she's under my name. Boy, I tell you. Mama always said.
Okay, now I go. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know how to fix it.
Mama always said, if it ain't broke, don't be trying to fix it.
I don't know what I didn't do nothing. I can't close my screen back down. It's enlarged.
So, all right, let's do it. You had a, what you call that? Not a thesis. What you had, I think, the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I can't see none of the comments because
it's all right.
My letters are super small. Okay. Oh, wait. Maybe this is it. Child, what did I do? Y'all, I'm so sorry. All right. So let me just mention, I know everybody don't want to hear these boring facts, but I like to give a little bit behind why we're talking about this. AARP, they are always on LinkedIn talking about ageism. And when I think about ageism, and now we got the velvet rope up there. We don't need that up there. She's not visiting today. Oh, God. Okay. And my name is gone. Oh, so it's been on there talking about ageism. And just keep in mind that ageism is not just for the older, because that's all I think about. I think about me. But ageism also comes, it happens to people who are younger. And
Yes.
the question that was posed was, is ageism still the final acceptable bias in today's, and acceptable in air quotes, acceptable bias in today's workforce? Um, and some of the things that they mentioned on the AARP thing was 78% of workers over 45 say that they have been seen or experienced age discrimination. AARP 2023. 1 in 3 millennials believe they have been overlooked for leadership because they're too young. EEOC reports over 12,000 age discrimination claims annually.
Yes.
Recruiters only spend 6 seconds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds scanning resumes. Dates can trigger an unconscious bias. They see that you went to school and you graduated in 1987. They be like, oh no, she probably can't even work on the computer. She probably don't know how to do spreadsheets. Mind you, I be doing formulas and stuff. I'm finna say in ish on the anyway. So it does affect both sides. Older workers, 50 and up, we get overlooked for promotions despite the experience we have. And what I read, because what I thought was so interesting too regarding that, when I was young, we looked at older people or more mature people as they were wise.
Right,
I especially was someone that liked hanging around older people. And because I thought they were so smart and they knew so much and they could teach me so much. And they did teach me so much. Just have always done that. Now I'm old school instead of them. But recruiter, where was I at? So workers older than 50 plus are overlooked for promotions despite experience. The stereotypes of them is that they're outdated when it comes to technology. And let me tell y'all, I am not outdated when it comes to technology. I just don't want to do it. If I need to do it for my job, if you give me a promotion, pay me some money, I will do it. I will do it happily. Okay. Casual comments like, when are you going to retire? Dismiss ideas labeled as old fashioned, or they kind of hear you just to. What is happening here? I don't, y'all, pardon me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but my thing says words of 2 cents on mine.
I know.
Okay, anyway, treated like the office elder, but not given leadership roles.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
that's a big one. And then for the under 35, the big one for me is not even on this paper. Let me see if it's on this paper. Oh yeah, it is on this paper, but it's already on my mind. People say it's too young to lead. They're too young to lead. Their mindset is too young to lead. But also, they go to college, graduate, and get this degree that people say that the world, including me, who have been a recruiter most of my career, told you all you have to do is go to school, get a degree, go on and get that higher degree, that advanced degree of a master's, so you can go out and get you a great, wonderful job. Right. But then when you graduate, guess what they say? You need 5 to 10 years experience for an entry-level job. So to me, that's ageism. Pay inequity despite equal output. Not invited into serious decision making because they think they're too young. But older people are like that. On the older side of ageism, that happens a lot. They don't invite you in. And treated as like a kid rather a professional. My daughter talks about that a lot. About she's treated like, all right, little Jasmine, we heard your little idea. It's cool. Now go to sit down. Hello, country boy? You there? Oh, there's Jazz. Hello?
You paused.
We were just going to tell you, you don't have to get on the show because you can check in with us and see if you have anything to say in the chat. If you're not busy, if you're busy, it's fine. We're already on. We're just already talking. It's so... Yeah, because something's going on with our computer. But anyway, I'm going to hang up. Guys, we are having some technical difficulties. So give us a second. Create new tab. Oh my word, what is going on? I can't see anything. What is this? Cancel. What is this? And we are live. Okay.
All right, look, we back. Bye, y'all. I don't know what happened, but look here. We back once more again. Well, I'm back. She ain't back yet, but she's coming. Look here. We are here once more again. If y'all don't know, we are talking about, well, we trying to talk about ageism. I guess that's what kicked in, some ageism on my laptop, her laptop, and everything else. She was giving some background about ageism, and I don't know if anybody has ever faced it, this thing. Some of the examples she was giving. Have you ever gone, you gone to a job? I know way back when I started 150 years ago, it was always this thing is you don't have the experience. And that's on the other spectrum of it. That's on the, say, the younger people. You're going out, you've gone to school, you spent 4, 5, 6, 8, 12 years in school. You've gotten all the degrees, you've gotten all the certifications. But these people want to say, hey, before we can hire you, we need to hire somebody with some experience. That's ageism. So how am I supposed to get the experience if you ain't gonna give me the job? In my opinion, that's ageism. Or what she was saying earlier, if you don't get the promotions anymore, you don't get these things anymore because they think that basically, they're getting ready to put you out the pasture. So I'm not going to move you up. I'm not going to give you that position because, well, you're kind of close to retiring, or you're at that age now where that's ageism. And all of it, I think all of that is so, in so many ways, is so unfair, because how does one get the experience if you don't want to give them the experience or give them the opportunity? How does one apply the experience they have if you're saying like, oh, we're going to hold you back or we're not going to put you there? Somehow, in my mind, that thing is just not right. That's just in my mind. In my mind, that thing is
it's one of the protected categories of discrimination.
Yeah. But how do you go about, and that's,
that's why they're saying it. That's why the question is this an acceptable? People make this accept. I don't think, just like that person you called, you said they was like, maybe y'all call it something else. I don't think all youngsters really know what it is. Because like it's a lot in my department, it feels really weird. And I didn't realize it for a long time, but I'm the oldest person, the most seasoned person in the department. I got to remember that is a positive thing. Right. And as I was saying before we got off early, before we got stuck, that just like they used to say, gray means wisdom, know. I loved hanging out. When you see all the old school movies, what do you see the kids? They're just admiring the older generation. They want to hear more. Right. My kids, they may not think I know that stuff all the time, but what I will say, they like to hear, they like for me to talk about things that happened in the past. They ask questions about. And that's what you think about old people. Even in my job or your job, we've been doing what we do a long time. I think me and you both got to the point where we just doing this. Okay, well, y'all just go. Since y'all know everything, I'm just let y'all do it. I'm just doing what I'm doing over here. Yes. I found myself today, they were all huddled up doing something. And I said, okay, I guess I'm too old to know good because I got work to do. Y'all
and that's, yes, you are so right. Because I see some things and have seen. Here's the thing about, and I don't know about you, I was, before I moved up in the ranks, I started off just like anybody else as a worker. I started off as one of those people who could do everything. I learned how to sneak away and do everything. So let me tell you, when I see folks sneaking off and doing, boy, look at here. I did that 30 years ago. Or I know how to sandbag work and act like you really working. There are some people that be acting like it, and maybe that's the thing where they don't want the older people because it's like you see that, and it's really, really, hey Jazz, it's really, really one of those things. But I think that it is out there, and you're right. I just don't think people truly identify with what it is and what's happening.
Because even me, again, not understanding, I found when we first started this show, so AARP has it on LinkedIn a lot about every day. Actually, every day they post about ageism, but they're talking about older. They didn't talk about these things that we have for younger workers under 35.
Yes.
You know, especially when I talk about, they say entry level, you get out of college, your entry level job requires 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't see another thing, I don't think younger people in my mind, like someone I work with, I don't think, just like I don't know, I think older people be knowing that they're discriminating with the youngsters, but I think younger people, I don't think they realize some of the things that they say or do. I don't think they really realize that it could be ageism, you know, or discrimination. And how old was the person that said that they must call it ageism? Something maybe they meant that they call it age discrimination. Maybe that's
no,
what they're
she's
saying.
probably she's in her 30s.
Yeah, so maybe she's thinking of age discrimination, which is the same thing as ageism.
Right,
but the question again that we're supposed to answer is where does God dang it, where does it start at? What part does it start at? HR when they're that's where we stopped at, country boy. I'm sorry. When HR has recruiters take only 6 seconds to scan a resume. Dates can trigger an unconscious bias. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do. I do personally, because working in, but not because of age. With me, it was because dates did a certain thing. When I saw like multiple dates or multiple employers, that was a trigger for me. Like, this person ain't even going to be here long. It had nothing to do with their age. I came up when I was hiring. I wanted, and again, this is what I know about hiring people. This is what I know about what I did personally. People hire people that they feel comfortable with. That's who they want, people, because they're trying to mold their team to look like them. So if the them is the people,
right fit, you mean? That's
right. They want people, right. They want people around them. So it's kind of like that thing. If you're a little bit older, then you may intimidate. If you're younger, then you may still intimidate. I'm just at the point where I think, again, with hiring and the ageism thing, is, don't you want somebody there to teach you the things that they know? And that's on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's on both sides, because you have a younger generation that's coming in that knows how to do some things, but you have an older generation that knows how they've done some things. And can you imagine those two working together instead of against each other? Mm-hmm. Instead of one saying, well, oh, I know how, I know it works better like this because I have all the modern day technology. Well, now, baby, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all about ageism for an old man like me. Okay, I'm so old. I was back when they used the credit card machine to swipe. Okay, I'm talking about they had the carbon copies and they pulled it off. Most people don't know nothing about that. But let me tell y'all something. Why that thing is still relevant today. What you gonna do when the power go out and you can't use your card?
I said that to somebody yesterday.
Do you know people lose their mind because they've never seen the machine? Companies don't have the machine. So what do? You sit there because it is all on computer, or you got a chip. Baby, when the power go out, your chip just went out.
And we know how to do long division.
But I mean,
you wouldn't even know how to do long division. But I was just telling somebody the other day, if we don't have them, we still know how to go through and add, subtract, and multiply.
Yes, it is those things that one should be able to teach the other, because these things are still as relevant, you know, as they were in my mind. Mm-hmm. Still, as you can take those, yeah, you can move forward. But in order to move forward, you have to be moving from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't just discard it because it's where we used to be. And you can't just discard it because, oh, this is where we're going. We should be able to go hand in hand and both work together collectively and grow. That's just my opinion on it. Because, every job I go to, I look for a credit card machine. When I don't see one, then I know.
You so stupid.
I know right then and right there. Yeah.
Now, this thing says that, so when the question was, where do you believe ageism is most deeply rooted? And it's recruitment processes, internal promotions, workplace culture, or training and upscaling, right? I personally think it comes in the recruitment processes and then the workplace culture. And what it says about recruitment and workplace culture, recruitment application systems still ask for dates of graduation and years work. So you hear people talk about these updated resumes that say what do they call, functional or something, but you take the dates off, but then you got to turn around and do that application. What does the application ask you for? And then they make you put them in, or it's one of those where they have the red or the asterisk where you have to fill it in.
Right.
So that's before you even whatever. You're experiencing ageism when they ask you to lead the tech training, but hand you the manual for the fax machine. That's not what I was. That's the wrong thing I read. Workplace culture. Older employees are seen as winding down. What you said. Younger employees are seen as unready. That's the culture. Promotions often skip over experience for image or freshness. Now that I do know people do that. Like back in the day when those little training videos come on, they show that they're gonna put the cutest or the prettiest person at the receptionist desk, right? I even saw, but my biggest issue is just that they, for me, because I'm not on the younger side, so I can't speak on that. But except the one I told you about when they get out of college, they got to have 25 years of experience. They just got out of college. For me, I feel it when it's like people say things like, "Are you gonna retire?" Or, and I know they don't mean to be right. You know what I'm saying? Or like what you said, sometimes they be say, "Oh, you can sit this one out." School or old school, which in the workplace, I think you're not supposed to use that word. But again, they say this is one of those that ageism is an acceptable, the last acceptable form of discrimination that people just kind of let go by the wayside, Or for me, I mess up on it. They have these spreadsheets. They're on the this is probably why they don't want me to work there. What did we do it? It's a spreadsheet, right? And they're shared. So if someone messes with it, it can be mirror range. Right. Well, every time the spreadsheet gets messed up, guess who they say? Trini, you've been messing with the spreadsheet? No, I didn't do it. I've done it before. But what's crazy is my other coworkers who are younger, they be saying, I don't know why they always saying it's you, because I did it one time. So-and-so did it before. It ain't just me. Right. So that to me, and it could be me taking it personally, but out of all these people in the room, Trina, it's 21 of us, I think. Trina, did you mess with the spreadsheet?
Yeah. Hey, I get it. I get it. I get that. And it's,
I was in a room by myself today. Everybody went to lunch. I looked around and I was there by myself because everybody's clicked off into their groups. I don't have a group because there's nobody my age, but right. But you do sometimes find yourself like, well, damn, nobody even asked me to go. And it could just be because they just don't like you. But I think sometimes, and I don't think that young people really realize that it's a thing, that it's not a good thing.
And I just, again, mine is the mindset should be, and I think you and I probably came up on the same thing, to grasp as much knowledge from the people that are there, that came before you, grasp that knowledge. Trust me, I get people coming and you're younger and you have your ideas and you have these fresh ideas of I should try it this way or try it. Here's the thing that I think that messes up a little bit. There's nothing new under the sun, okay? You may have this fresh idea, but did you think somebody may have tried a version of that before? So that instead of, if that makes any sense, instead of going like, you could run it by somebody that's been around and go like, and they could say like, well, here are the drawbacks to that. Here this. But you want to say like, oh, you think it came up with, ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing that new. Okay. Everything rotates around. Okay. it comes back around. So somebody has tried a version of it. And maybe if you said, hey, what parts of this didn't work before? Then you could be like, oh, okay, once more again, that's the old, that's the new mixing together. And what they're doing is now they're creating something greater.
And that's what this says. Wisdom and fresh ideas are not rivals. Together they build success. I like
Bill,
that. Whether you are 25, whether you're 25 or 55, your age should never determine your worth. And that's the part. Like sometimes, again, they put you out like you're the dinosaur.
Yes.
You know, or they have conversations and they kind of do. You told me that you've seen some different things. So have you ever felt dismissed for being too young when you were younger or too old since you've been seasoned?
I've never. I felt the too young thing, you know, and when you were talking, I thought about you were talking about the entry levels.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something for an older person to try to get an entry level? No, you have too much experience. For a younger person to try to get an entry level, no, you don't have enough experience. Let's just figure out how you work that thing now. How can you have too much and not enough? So what are you really saying?
Yeah.
Because that makes no sense.
And then even Jasmine said that example I gave earlier was not ageism, and I know about being in a room by yourself. That was just a thing that's just something me being uncomfortable. But what I will say is, let's like at my current employer, we've all been there for a very long time. Well, the 3 years has been started, and positions have come up. And now the thing about it is, none of us were put in the position that was available. So that's fine or whatever. So it won't show that. But you also, as someone older, sit and think about all the experience, all the work you did, you went to school, you've done all this work, you have a portfolio of experience.
Right.
But they see that as being too much experience. Kind of like with the youngsters, too little experience. But the other day we found out that one of our counterparts, but that doesn't work in a circle with us, but they work like on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
She got a promotion as a director, like within 6 months. And she's 24. Nothing wrong with that. I'm always proud for young, especially black and brown people to be elevated. I love that for them. But don't forget about me. I'm 55 and I am not. That's why I tell them I'm gonna put a picture on my resume. Because I do not look, I can do some stuff. Then I get silly with it. And I know it sounds stupid, but I don't realize it's stupid till after I've even said it. Why y'all think I can't work these spreadsheets? I be at home. I know how to do formulas. Do you know I know how to do formulas on the spreadsheet? I know how to do formulas on the spreadsheet. There's some things, to be honest with you, that I just don't want to do anymore.
Right. Well, and see, and that's that part of it too. I mean, that's and when I say that don't want to do and not the other part is like, okay, well, they're probably older. They don't want to do those type of things.
Could be, but you can't assume that.
Hold on. It is the real conversation with a twist of humor.
Oh, somebody called us.
Yep, somebody called us. Hold on. Let's see.
We got a call.
We got a call. Hello. I can hear you. Would you like to go on the air? May I ask who's calling? Oh, we have a young millennial on the line. Would you like to make a comment? Okay, well, hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get you live on the air. Let me see how this works. Hello?
Hello?
Let's see. Can we hear? Can you hear?
Can you hear me?
Is it on speaker?
Yes.
I can hear now.
Oh, I hear it now.
There you go, Miss. Well, welcome to the show.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. What an honor to be here with you all today.
Well, we are so glad you're here. Well, look, give us your input on this wonderful subject.
You know, I love how balanced the conversation has been about how we can each learn from each side. But my personal personal beef with. I've actually befriended a lot of people. At least most of my workmates used to be like 10 years older than me. Miss Trina, you remember Cheryl, the lawyer? Cheryl was your age, and we were besties at work. My girl Selena at Target had been working at Target longer than I had been born, and I was her boss. We were like, that's my girl. Here's my problem though. Y'all will also be like, oh my gosh, I know so much, and y'all treat me like you treat the young employees, and we all get paid the same. We all in the same room, but I gotta teach you how to use the computer every day. So now I'm doing your job and my job. Or I gotta teach you how to read data. Yeah, we getting paid the same amount, but you think that because you also have seniority, that you also think that you should be treated differently than me. Or I experience sometimes people think that I should have a certain reverence for you, but at the end of the day, we are peers. You're not the mother of the group. You're not the auntie of the group. We're peers. But I find that older people don't want to be treated as my peer, right? Because they want to be revered for their experience. Nico, get out the trash. Sorry. So those are my thoughts.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think that you are so on it. And some people do. They want to think that the time they've put in takes them to a different level. And you should be treated for the time that I've put in. I can see that. I can see how older people would use that as some kind of leverage, and which is unfair. Which is unfair.
They end up hurting their own feelings.
Yes.
Because I don't disrespect you, but I see you as a peer.
Right.
But you don't see yourself that way. But I will also say, I, as a recruiter, and the people that I hang out in recruitment, we never talk about age. That is not a thing that has ever come up. Now, we might have some biases about some other things, but like age and the only time we ever cared a lot about years, at least like again, me and my peers in tech, years of experience was if the role required, obviously, a certain amount of experience, then I'm looking at graduation dates. But like, as long as you are within like the 3 years we need you to graduate, you could have been working there for 30 years or 3 years exactly. It never really mattered to us. And when we do a phone screen, I don't know how old you are.
Right.
People stop putting years on their work experience a long time ago. Now, the dead giveaway of your age is a 50.
But it's on the application.
Yes, but we 90% of the time, again, these are me and my peers in tech, we do not. I know those tools make you fill out that application. If it makes y'all feel better, we hate it as well. But tend to look at the resume attachment
over the application.
The only reason we're looking at the application is if they ask you those little extra questions like how many years of experience, etc. The dead giveaway for age is having a 15-page resume. You could take those dates off completely if you wanted to. Now, the other thing is once we get you to a hiring team, that ain't on us no more. So we trying to challenge our own biases, but the hiring team, we ain't got a lot of control over, what they see from that point of view. But
so also, you wouldn't see that starts at the recruitment level. You would see it the culture part.
The culture part is after recruitment. Culture is after you have been hired, not before. Culture is honestly even from the moment you start interviewing with the hiring team. Think about a recruiter in a traditional sense. I do a phone screen with you blind. I've never seen your face. We are on the phone. I don't know who you are or how old you are. It's when you get on that call with those people and they start asking you technical details and if you don't know the answer. Or they start digging in, asking questions that they shouldn't be asking, which I agree they should not be asking you, like, oh, what year did you graduate? Never answer that question. They should not be asking you that. Little things like that. And to the point you made about how you're required to put, like, what did you say? The dates. Work in those applications.
Right.
That's a Workday thing. And Workday is currently being sued for discrimination for stuff like that.
Really?
So there are things being worked on to like fix that. But I personally, in my experience, think that the ageism comes into effect. Yes, I do think in hiring, but I think in hiring it benefits, in my experience, it benefits more experienced people. And the culture, once you get there, I do think is not to the benefit of older people at all. I feel like at least in tech, they go out of their way sometimes to make older people feel uncomfortable. But I think recruitment, y'all have the upper hand. I think once you start working there, the culture day to day, I do think is when the scales tip the other way, if that makes sense.
It does. As I was sitting here as you're speaking, what I'm thinking is that on the ageism, sometimes possibly people don't want to hire someone with experience or who's been there a lot of times because I'm already running things this way, and it's easier to hire someone fresh and new doesn't have any ideas that will fit into what I'm already doing, other than somebody who brings something in who will rock the boat.
100% as a boat rocker, that's professional boat rocker and table shaker can confirm they don't be wanting to deal with people who be rocking boats.
Yeah, because we're already set doing it like this. You've been in management for 20 years. You got some idea on how it runs. That ain't how we want to run it. We're trying to try something new. So if I go get you with that experience, you're gonna come in looking at this and peeping in this and peeping in that and going like, oh, I don't need your opinion. I just need your work.
Yep. 100%. Which I think all workplaces are getting to a really weird place in culture generally. The recruitment processes are bad. The job market sucks. The culture is bad. Nobody holds anybody accountable. They don't want boat rockers because they're just trying to keep afloat.
Right.
They don't really want young people because we don't have time to train you, which is also very common. Nobody want to train you. Also, you too old, but also I don't want to train nobody young. Let's try to find somebody right in the middle. Which is why nobody has a job.
Right.
Which is why nobody has a job right now.
Oh, I totally agree with that aspect of it. Is the training. In so many places, the training aspect of it is horrible. I think that is one of the things, and you're right. You bring somebody in that's young, that has no experience, and you're basically throwing them to the wolves. You're chucking them in there. Now you bring somebody else older in that has the experience. Now they are finna like straighten things out. And you're like, oh Lord. So where do you go? What's the medium in between? Is because that person that has the experience goes like, hold on, y'all didn't train me on this, and I'm not finna do it.
Yeah.
That younger person is like, well, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna have to figure it out, and that's what we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I agree.
What about one more thing, Jabby, before you get off? Huh?
I said, look at us coming to common ground. Look at us.
Oh yeah. I didn't even say. Country Boy had called someone before earlier to try to get them to come on the show. And that's you said she's in her 30s, and she said he asked her about age. He wanted her to come on and talk about ageism, and she said, "Oh, that y'all must call it something else because she hadn't heard of it. Is it because y'all just call it discrimination, age discrimination versus ageism?"
I don't know adults that don't know what ageism is. So
did you? Well, I'm saying, had you heard that term before, ageism versus age discrimination?
I've heard both of those being used. Maybe because I work in HR, that's a very common term.
Oh,
I don't call it anything else.
Okay.
Ageism, age discrimination, bias, which we do have to realize all of us have biases.
Yes.
And so at least what they teach us in recruitment is being able to confront them head on. You're supposed to be able to like talk to your peers about it. So if you're I tend to have a bias against a very specific brand of white boy at work. I hate that for me, but it's the truth. So to check my biases, I'll talk to a peer. Hey, you look at this resume objectively, you tell me what you think, and go from there. But all of us have those. That's unavoidable. But it's a matter of, are you willing to admit it?
Right.
So that you can move forward.
That's really good. I mean, that's really, and that says a lot about trying to build that culture. That thing is once more again for me. Why can't you take that and make it a melting pot, no matter where you are? Because the two would work so well. I can see so many companies and things succeeding because you took the both. You took the fresh new ideas.
They can't help themselves because sometimes it's unconscious. Like, right. I don't really like her vibe, but then you start to be like, okay, what about her vibe don't you like? Can she do the job or no? And ultimately, the vibe is, oh, she kind of reminds me of my mom, and I want to hang out with her. Now, see? Or, oh, I subconsciously already know I'm gonna have to train her on this, so I don't really want to deal with it. Some of it's unconscious, but good work environments should be addressing that. It's just most of them aren't good. I've worked at one out of everywhere I've worked at one place that was really big on managing your unconscious bias, which I think is why my mindset on this is a little different, and I am hesitant to say that it exists everywhere, because in this one environment, it was very normal to call it out. No, don't say that.
Wow. And that's, yeah, and you're probably right. It is probably very, very rare. And who do you go to? You know, and I hear that, but if you are a younger person, do you really go to HR? If you're an older person,
nobody goes to HR anymore.
Right. That's yeah. Who do you go to?
I don't know. You should be going to HR, but nobody trusts HR anymore.
Right.
And the thing about, now here's, I don't know how they, but the thing about bias is, or the thing about work and going to HR is that you need documentation. And I cannot give you documentation on why I felt like so-and-so was racist towards me. Now, that's something we have to start to unpack. Like, I can't explain to you, sometimes it's like microaggressions, right? Well, she keeps accusing me of messing up this Excel document. That is obviously a dig at your age. But if you say that, it doesn't sound concrete enough, so HR don't do nothing about that.
Right.
Right.
I don't know how we address that. I don't know. I had a boss that I obviously thought was a racist, and I could give you examples, but like, unless she called me the N-word at work, nobody really cared.
Right. So, right. Yeah, I get. Yeah, what you're saying is that thing I always say is facts over feelings. What are the actual facts? Yeah. Are there some facts here, or are you just going with, well, I feel like they're just not treating me right?
Yeah, and the thing is, with some of these things, like, sometimes racism don't feel like a fact to people who aren't black.
Right.
It is a feeling. I don't know how to describe it to you, and you wouldn't understand it if I described it to you. But I know it when I feel it because I'm black. You know what I mean? Same way when we talk about, what is it? Bias against, like, men and women and stuff like that.
Yes.
I know when a man makes me feel uncomfortable. But sometimes I cannot articulate. Like, it sounds so simple to you. You know what I mean? Well, he just, you know, me and Mom talk about this all the time. He just complimented you. Yeah, but I felt uncomfortable. But if I go to HR with that, it's like, I mean, so he said he complimented you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, right. Some stuff is feelings, and the feelings are facts. But, again, it's tricky because you also don't want to get, you know, be out here accusing people of being racist and sexist, and, you know, these are your feelings. I think it's more complicated than that.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. Go ahead.
You know, another situation I thought about, I don't know if that was ageism or just laziness of how we talked about that you have to train. They don't want to really train the younger people. My youngest daughter had gotten a position, and once she's just coming out of law school, and the person just didn't have the time to train her and kind of just sent her off on her way. Would you say that would have been ageism as well a little bit?
No, that's poor onboarding.
Okay.
That's just poor, negligent onboarding. Because the discrimination would have been not hiring her. The discrimination to me would have been saying that she was, you know, incompetent. Well, that's not true. You hired her because she has a certain level of competencies, right? Some people just suck at training. Some people don't want to train. It's also okay to say, I don't want to hire entry level because I don't have time to train them.
Right.
That's also 100% okay. Discrimination is, this person has all the qualifications to do the job, but I am not hiring them, right? That's more when you get into discrimination. But Trina has 30 years of experience. Let's say you have 30 years of experience being a history teacher. You interview, you do well, and they give you some other boo-boo reason. Now we can start to talk about discrimination. But if you have 30 years of experience being a math teacher and I need history, that's not discrimination. I just don't like teaching you how to be a history teacher.
Right.
Got it.
And that's okay. They don't have to train you. You can always require experience. I think that you should. If you ain't gonna train nobody, you need to be looking for experience. But you also can't say so-and-so has too much experience. That's weird. That doesn't make no sense to me.
Well, you know, as we having this conversation about the ageism and the older younger, is it also a thing I can't afford to hire somebody with that much experience because I'm gonna have to pay them for their experience?
Now that's why you got to find that sweet spot in the middle. But that's also not discrimination. But that's also very true. You want 30 years of experience. You don't have 30 years of experience money.
Right.
So you're gonna go find somebody with maybe 10 years of experience or 6 years of experience. I don't want to give recruiters too much of a bad rap because I do think it is a very delicate balance. And I do think most of the onus on the discrimination piece, in my experience, is the hiring team. As a recruiter, I don't have time to be trying to calculate and figure out what year you graduated high school.
Right.
I don't have time for that. I'm looking at the resume for 30 seconds. That's what I be saying. Like, I'm not looking through 15 pages to see what you've been doing for 30 years. I'm not doing that. I don't care about your picture. I don't care about your LinkedIn that much. I'm not looking through all those application questions. Do you meet the qualifications? Bare minimum.
Right.
And then I'm moving on. Now, recruitment now, I don't know what these people are looking for. The job market is looking a little sketchy. But I do think for the most part, recruiters are not paying that much attention to be discriminating against your age at that early on in the process. But I think the moment your application gets passed on to the next person, the hiring team, I absolutely know for a fact some of them are like, I had somebody tell me like, oh, they worked at Dell in the 90s. And I was like, okay, what does that even mean? And they were saying like, yeah, Dell is kind of like old school. Nope, now wait a minute. Can they do the job or not?
Right.
And then you go from there. But also, I was the kind of recruiter who would approach that bias head on. What do you mean by that? Because we can't say that. So give me something else.
Right, right.
But also, everybody doesn't do that. I've had a lot of peers who did not feel like it was their job to challenge bias. It's all kind of a mess. I'm not gonna lie. It's very complex. Recruiters want to keep their jobs. This is bad. Y'all want to get jobs. But I also think it's just very complicated.
I guess that could be true. It's not a close, and I agree with the part about what you meant. Y'all both mentioned about quote unquote trying to prove your case. You know, and I was telling Country Boy that age discrimination is one of those protected classes, and that's why I guess this question came up from AARP is like, but do people really see it as a discrimination? You know,
protected class is, at least in my experience, is. If I go into an interview feedback and you tell me that somebody's old, you absolutely cannot say that. So you better give me something else that I can write down for feedback that ain't that. Because that, again, is our protected class. And I don't have no problem reminding people, okay, that's a protected class. So if you have real feedback about their ability or inability to do the job, then we can talk about that. But I'm not rejecting a candidate because they worked at Dell in the 90s. That don't even make no sense. But people also don't know the protected classes, so
they what?
People don't be knowing the protected classes.
Yeah, like, and that's what I was saying earlier too. Was that I don't even when we talk about the older people discriminating against older people, I don't think everybody realizes that's what that can be. You know?
Yes.
Some things they may say.
Discrimination or is it bias?
Say that again.
It is discrimination or bias.
Or is it bias? I have a bias against a certain type of white boy at work, rich white boys at work. I don't not give them opportunities because they are rich white boys. That makes sense?
Yes.
We all have biases. If you are enacting them to keep people out of opportunities, to exclude people from things, that is discrimination. But we all have biases. You speaking Spanish might offend somebody.
Right.
At work. That is a bias. Them telling you they're not going to hire you because you speak Spanish, that is discrimination.
Discrimination.
Wow.
Everybody got their biases, and that's fine. But you using that to
determine whether you hire them or not.
Yeah, whether or not you're going to hire them, whether or not you're going to promote them. If you're keeping them in a certain place because of your biases, that is discrimination.
And again, what can you really do about it?
I mean, I think there's more people could do than they think, but no one trusts HR, and most people can't afford legal representation because you can always reach out to an employment lawyer. That is an option.
Right.
But it says here that EEOC reports over 12,000 age discrimination claims annually, and that's not really that much.
Yeah, well, because people don't report it.
They don't report it.
Right.
Yeah, they don't report it. But you can also talk to the employment lawyer, and they will tell you whether or not you have a case. So that is always an option. But I think people don't know how to describe it, and they get really discouraged because they don't have like concrete proof. And I get that. Like, I've been in situations where I don't want to document everything. I want to do my job, and I want to go home, and I want to get paid.
Right.
I don't have time to be documenting every microaggression that somebody gives me as a dark-skinned Black woman after hair every day. I don't have time for that. So I just like, you know what, whatever, I'll eat it. Most of the places, my last job that I hated, I felt like I was being discriminated against, I didn't have the energy to be tussling with her and the employment lawyer about this. Go ahead and let me go so I can move on.
Right. Right.
But if we keep moving like that, then there won't really be any desire to change. But also, now that we're rolling back DEI efforts, we might just have to eat it. No one's going to I definitely don't think they're going to care about your EEOC complaint.
That is so true now. And but I read, this is on the side of, go ahead, I'm sorry.
They've also defunded a little bit of that. They're not taking as many EEOC cases under Donald Trump, but that's conversation for another day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the side of a twist of humor, I saw this today. They had a picture of our governor, and it says, being that he signed the DEI, how he gonna get into places that got stairs?
I've been said that. I've been said that. He can't even get in those buildings if they take away that stuff.
Yes, but they don't understand all that's involved in DEI.
Right.
I thought somebody taking all his empathy was in his legs.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's funny.
But I mean, why are you acting like that? Not to be in DEI and acting like that.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But they think that DEI means Black people. But that's neither here nor there.
But thank you so much. That's your, so the culture gets your vote, right?
Yes.
Culture.
And
Yeah.
I think culture gets my vote because you actually feel the culture. Versus like, depending on your attitude, if you don't get hired, you might not think about discrimination. But if you get to work, you're gonna feel the bias.
Right.
If they have it. That's my vote.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Out of all of them, recruitment processes, internal promotions, workplace culture, and training upskilling, the vote on LinkedIn, the day I looked at it, they have recruitment processes. However, they don't have a recruiters to break it down like you just did.
Because everybody hates recruiters. Because everybody thinks that recruiters do one job, and that's not what they do. Yeah. Recruiters are we're the gatekeepers. And at least in my experience, I be sending the most diverse panel of candidates to their hiring manager. And when they send me that list back, all of them look like people already on the team. Recruiters do not make hiring decisions.
Right.
I am making sure you meet the bare minimum qualifications, and that decision is not on me. And sometimes when your recruiters ghost you, fun fact, is because the hiring team is like, let's just keep looking and see if we find something better. Not because I hate you, not because I don't want to hire you, but because I am beholden to them. I don't make no decisions, but people don't know that, and people don't know that. Recruiters, which I get because some of my peers suck, but it's not always us.
Wow. Well, thank you so very much for calling in. Today? Thank you for all the wonderful insight that you have given us about ageism and recruiting and HR. I still don't like HR, but it's okay.
It's fair.
And HR doesn't like me. But I will say this: as far as myself, I use my experience a little bit different. I use it to encourage those because everyone around me is younger. I use my experience to encourage. I talk to them on a different level. Whether it's, hey, if you're trying to do it all in one day, it really ain't gonna happen. And I'm not telling you about what I think. I'm just telling you about what I know. I'm giving more personal than kind of business. Just because you want to stay here and you want to work, you want to come in at 5 o'clock in the morning, you want to work at 9 o'clock at night. I'm just telling you, when you roll over and you die, because I done seen folks that died, okay? I'm just telling you. I have seen folks that died, and before your body got to the morgue, they was already hiring somebody else for that spot. I'm just telling you on the real.
100%.
But that's my approach to it, how I talk to them. Man, I'll tell them, if you want to run around here and do everything, guess what? I'm old enough to let you run around here and do everything.
And I'm getting to that point too. I'll be like, first I'm like, well, they didn't invite me to be a part of that. Then you're like, but did I really want to?
Right.
They can have it.
Yeah. I don't find it offensive. I just try to find a way to use it to educate them, because mine, again, even when I had to learn when I was in management, is that the goal was to train somebody to replace me. That was my goal. When I finally grasped that, instead of trying to gatekeep a job, it made life so much simpler. So for me now, it's the same thing, is to feed them and say, hey, at one point, hopefully, I pray that you'll be where I'm at. Then you'll understand. So apply. You don't have to try to kill yourself to do something. Once again, I don't knock any company, but baby, Country Boy's name is not outside that building. That's my name is not in the lights on the top of the building. Okay, so
it hit me when you say that a company will make $1 million and your commission is 100. I was like, wait a minute.
It's real. It's real. So that, but that came with the experience. That's that bit of experience to say, hey, guess what? Look at the bigger picture of it. I see what you see, but with age comes wisdom, comes experience, and you see, hold up, I can see a little bit broader than you can. I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. All I'm doing is giving you some options.
Yep. I agree, guys.
So, but thank you. We greatly appreciate you calling in. We got a caller.
We got to call in.
All right, I gotta go walk my dog. It's been real.
Thank you.
I'll see y'all later.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Well, that was a good conversation. So it's time for us to close out.
Oh, is it time for us to close? We done.
9:30.
What?
But we didn't get started to 8:35 because of whatever's happening with this computer.
Oh, okay.
So y'all, I'm gonna end this by saying I really like the information Jasmine gave.
Yes.
Because I would have at first said it starts with the recruiter. That would have been my answer. That was my answer on LinkedIn. But now I would change to I had a tie between recruitment and culture. Now I would go with culture. But I would go with culture that I think is unconscious. I don't think, especially my peers, maybe one or two, no, they're just crazy. But for my peers, some of my peers that are really young, like 20s and maybe early 30s, I don't think they recognize that some of the things that they do. I even think our leaders who are younger than me, I don't really think they're purposely doing that. Now I do with this one particular project that I think I would have been great at, because that's what I've done most of my career, is mentor kids, high school kids on to go to college or go into the workforce. I would have been great at that. Just because I'm 55 doesn't mean I wouldn't have been amazing. I don't look 55, but doesn't mean I wouldn't be amazing. So I do feel, now my daughter and I disagreed on that. She says, well, I can see them wanting someone more, but I don't. I see that a lot of kids still gravitate towards me. A lot of young people still at that age, now these 20s and 30s, they think you don't know nothing, but the high schoolers, they still in the middle school, they still talk to me. They still trust me and they'll tell me things. And I've been there to notice. I know how to tell you or how to make suggestions to you from my whole entire 30 years of I used to think, oh my God, tell everybody to go to college. But through my time of lived life and working for Lone Star College, I was used to telling kids they got to go to college. I learned and realized how to have a conversation to learn to figure out if they are somebody that needs to go to college. Are they also someone that needs to go to a 2-year, then a 4, or do they need to just go straight away? Or do they need to just go into the workforce?
Right.
That is my passion. That is what I do. I've tried to leave education a million times, but it's my passion, and I have the experience. I have the experience to lead a freaking team into the future, into doing great, wonderful things. Yeah. So in saying that, to say, so this particular project, I don't care about it now, but when I first saw it, because no one said anything, you just saw, you can hear, and you're like, ow. So they're just not going to invite me to be a part of this amazing program that I would literally be amazing at because I'm not 20 or 30. And it sucks to a certain extent. You know what I mean? It really sucks because you're taught to, you taught to go to college or whatever, but you're also taught to get experience. You're taught about lived life experiences,
right,
and working hard to learn, to read, to and me wanting to be a leader because that's what I was in. That was my master's program, organizational management and leadership. And here I am, 55, can't get a leadership role. Well, I mean, I guess this is kind of leadership, but not the leadership role that I would have expected with my, about with what I was taught and what I was told, right, and what I taught to other. I was telling someone the other day, I feel like a fraud sometimes, like, especially when they came out with, they finna make these people pay all their student loans, they're gonna take all their money. I'm like, oh my Lord, I feel like a fraud. All these kids I went and told to go to college and get all these loans because you're gonna get a great, wonderful job that's gonna pay all those loans back. You have to worry about it. And then now I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Or if they're sitting in a job right now, like I am, with this experience, with this work experience, life experience, degrees, and here I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love my life, got a great job, but would I want to go a couple of steps up? Absolutely. Do I think that'll happen? I used to would say no, but now I say it's up to God, because if he think this is what I'm supposed to be, I got to start accepting it. I ain't there yet, but if this is where he feels that this is where I'll do, and I can't, I've been complaining about it, right? My job and everything, because I want to be promoted. But last week I thought about it. I said, some of the people in my job are men that are raising their families on what I make, because it's not bad, but they're raising families off of this salary. So this salary, and I'm by myself, I should be doing. So that's when I said to myself, you got to sit back and reflect on this, girl. Let's be more positive about it, because you are making a really good salary. You can take care of yourself. Anyway, want to get my last 2 cents in. So yeah, it is disappointing. I'm not going to even say hurtful anymore. Disappointing, because you are excited to write these millions of 12-page papers and go to school all these years, to say, yes, when I finish this, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to elevate until I get to that position that I want to be in. And you find that it's just not that simple.
Right.
So I do believe that there's a thing of ageism. Do I think everybody that does it is doing it with a clear conscience? No, I don't think I think it's up to us to start saying it. I think, and not in a rude way, some kind of way, now I wouldn't do it in my division, because they tell everything. I say something yellow and it was supposed to be white, they're gonna go tell it. So,
Yeah.
and that's something else too about the generations. What happened to the saying snitches get stitches?
Yeah.
That's just gone out the window at work, at the workplace. It's just gone. You better not say nada, because it's gonna be told. It ain't gonna be told the right way. It's just gonna.
Yeah.
Nah, it's like you just better shut the hell up. Just don't even say hi, because they might say, you know, when Trina said hi, she said it with attitude. But anyway, so yeah, I do believe it. I really don't think the majority of people do it on purpose. But anyway, that's my worthless 2 cents on the real combination with a twist of humor. I think hold on. I told ChatGPT to give me a humor thing. Where is it? Age is just a number unless it's on your resume. Then it's HR's favorite clue. You know you're experiencing ageism when they ask you to lead the tech training, but they hand you the manual for the fax machine. Being 50 plus at work is like being the designated driver. Trust to get people home, but nobody wants you on the dance floor. Young people here, come back when you have experience. Older folks here, thanks for your experience, but we're moving in a fresh direction. So when is the sweet spot? Right. Where's the sweet spot? They definitely that's that word. We're gonna move in a different direction.
Yep. That's the one.
And that's on like shows, television shows. You always hear that thing. That's how they let people go. You know, we're gonna just move in a different direction without you.
Right.
But all right, y'all. That's all I have to say. And we didn't get to the part about what we did the weekend, but let me just say really quickly. I want to thank Miss Denise, Dazzling Denise of the Not So Christian to Me show and KYOK for handing me over. I haven't posted the pictures of the video, but handing me over her trust to attend an event that she couldn't attend yesterday at Martinis and More, one of my favorite places, by the way, in spring. And it was a networking event. And I ran into 2 people that I used to work with a lot on the outside with events and stuff. And they actually were the founders of this organization. But it was really nice, cool. I got to be interviewed. I also met my co-host twin. I'm gonna post the pictures today, the videos later on tonight, so y'all can see it. The last but not least, I posted something yesterday on my Facebook page. And if y'all want to know my Facebook page, it is Trina W. Oh, that's what he be saying. Trina W. Lowry, Lowery. I posted yesterday that this week I'm going to be posting posts, and I wish my co-host would join me in that. Posting posts about kindness, not burning bridges, being good to people. Just remembering that if you try to burn a bridge for someone else, you might be burning the bridge for you as well. So when you talk about people to other people, they don't just be thinking bad about that other person. They really be thinking, why are you? Because it puts fear in for me. It puts fear in me, like you're telling me about somebody else. So would you do that about me to somebody? Does that make what I'm trying to say? You get what I'm trying to say, kind of? You just got to be careful and just be careful with that. And so this week, I just want everybody to take a moment to take a deep breath. There's a lot going on in our country, but take a deep breath. Be kind to people. And I am not saying that if you look to the one I posted today, you don't have to like everybody. I'm not saying I will walk away from people. If I know they mean no good for me, I will walk away. But what I'm not going to do is slander them. I'm not going to make it to where they can't continue on with what they like to do. We're just separated. We just done with each other. But you move on. I want you to move on and live a happy life. I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize you, your family, your career, your job, anything like that. And I tell people at work too, when they get to stop doing that snitching stuff, do not play with my livelihood and expect me to talk to you tomorrow. It'll take me a couple of days because I'm at work, so I've got to be professional and say hi to you. I really don't want to, but don't messing with someone's livelihood is not the right thing to do. It's hard out here for it's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here for us. And I'm saying that to say, again, it's okay not to care for each other anymore. Y'all's, what do you call it? Your paths have gone its separate ways. It's so freaking okay. But let it go. Don't try to hurt others because you're hurting yourself in the process. And I promise you, they're listening. The person you're telling this stuff to, they're listening, but they're also looking at you. Am I right, country boy?
Yes, ma'am.
So anyway, so this week is what I'm asking for people to just kind of reflect on that. Think about that. Be kind. If it's time for you to step away from a relationship, a friendship, all of that, be okay with doing that. But walk away with dignity, pride, morals, and ethics. And I put in there yesterday about, and my girlfriend, one of my besties, she said that they talked about that in church yesterday. The preacher talked about people that be in church, praising the Lord, posting scripture and singing for the gospel. But when they get out that church, they forgot that God is there, is still there. He is everywhere. So you curse here, you don't curse in the church, you primp and proper, but when you walk out the door, you get to cursing, he still hear you. Because I think sometimes people don't know. Now, my mother-in-law, I will say this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna end it like this. We were in the church parking lot, me, her, and my ex-husband. And she went to cursing. She was a cursor, she could curse. And he said, Mama, you on the church grounds cursing. She said, yeah, well, he gonna hear me in there out here. I'm on church grounds anyway. He don't need me trying to hide it. No, and she said, and he know everything I'm thinking, so I might well say it. And how could you argue with that? All right, well, I'm throwing the mic back at Country Boy. Catch it, Country Boy.
Well, I'm gonna catch it and I'm gonna catch it and I'm gonna drop it. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in. Thank you for your support.
Country Boy sleepy, y'all.
I am. Thank you, Jasmine, for joining. Thank you for your input. Thank you, co-host, for the topic. It was very good. Thank you for going through LinkedIn and finding that and then bringing it to the table so we could actually bring it out here and enlighten some people and share this much needed discussion about this much needed topic that's overlooked, sometimes overlooked or misunderstood. Yeah, it's true. All that she said is true. Ageism does exist. Their biases do exist. Sometimes these things are unconscious, not intentional.
And I forgot that biases was different until she said that. I had to remember that the bias is different than discrimination. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what we have to do is sometimes just check ourselves, make sure we're checking ourselves. Mm-hmm. And as far as the, and as far as the other thing that she was talking about, the getting along, I just, when you were saying that, and I won't go into it because we get ready to go. Mm-hmm. I always remember when my mom, at my mom's house, there was a sign that she had, old wooden sign that was right by the door. It said, don't leave angry, just leave.
It's cute, but it's still funny.
Yeah, that's what she had hanging up there. Don't leave angry, just leave.
Just leave.
I like that. And the fact is that, sometimes we end up, when we do things out of, I'm big on this and I'm done. A lot of things are done out of feelings. Sometimes you got to check your feelings at the door. Sometimes you have to check your feelings at the door. Because that thing right there, what you feel right now about something, what you feel right now about a conversation, or what you feel right now about what somebody said, or what you feel right now that you should do, that feeling will change. So we really sometimes have to check, most of the time, all the time, check your feeling at the door. Everything is not, and I truly believe you can never, ever in this life raise yourself up by tearing another down. That's just my opinion. You can never in this life raise yourself up by tearing another down. So what we have to do is learn to try to understand. And you're right. You're right. You don't have to like people. You don't have to. I have several people that I have been close to married. I got several people that I've been close to walk down the aisle with. But I don't have negative things to say about them. I'm not out here slandering their names. I'm not out here because guess what? Just because I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna close. Just because we are not together anymore, at one point we were. Maybe y'all will catch that when you get home. Just because that person is not your friend anymore, at one point you were. Just because that person doesn't work for you or with you anymore, at one point they did. So instead of going out here, because things happen, life happens, man, you can separate from somebody. Let me tell you something. This is me. It comes from me. This is 100% me. Ain't got nothing to do with our talk show. Ain't got nothing to do with my co-host. This is me. Baby. And I'm saying this to all y'all. Listen to me real close. Listen to me real close. I want everybody to eat. I will feed everybody. You just can't sit at the table with me, but I'm never going to stop you from eating. Never going to stop you from eating. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to have theirs. I'm never going to run interference to try to stop you from getting where you're going. Because guess what? Where you are going, God has designed for you to go. And all I'm doing is going to get run over because you're going where you're going.
Right.
I can't stop you from going where God's trying to take you. That's what's wrong with a lot of us. We think we can stop something that's already been ordained to happen. You can't. Baby, I will never, ever, ever, ever down somebody or get out and try to scandalize their name. Why? 2 reasons. Why? Because what is it going to do? In the end, let me tell y'all something, and I'm really finna shut up. In the end, people that don't like you. Okay? In the end, people that were with you, but all of a sudden heard something about you, now they're against you, were always against you. People that all of a sudden were talking to you, not talking about you, they were always talking about you. It just came out. So why be mad at someone who shows you who they truly are? Don't be. Allow people to be who they are. Allow them to be that. I'm not mad at anybody for being who they are. Be who you are. But I'm never, ever, ever, just because you talk down on me, just because you say this or that, or you have just because that's what you do, that ain't what I do. Because guess what? In the end, at the end, when the bell rings, I never, ever, 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 ever gonna be called to say, oh, I did it because of them. I'm not responsible for you. I'm held accountable for me. It is never, ever, ever what someone does to you, people. Hear this. It's never about what someone does to you that defines your character, that defines your integrity. It's never about what someone does to you that defines your character and your integrity. You know what defines your character and your integrity? Your response.
Your response.
Bottom line, your response defines your character and your integrity. And you can't put that on anybody else. That's your bed, you lay in it. That's their bed, they gotta lay in it. My mama said it. Every tub gotta sit on its own bottom.
Say that again.
Every tub has to sit on its own bottom. Every one.
And that's some 2 cents. I've never heard of that. I've never heard that. And my daddy was from Shongaloo, Louisiana. So he said some things.
So, but
Rinse,
thank you so very
rinse your
much.
water out rinse your mouth out with some hydrogen peroxide. You be all right. rinse that tooth that hurt with some green alcohol.
Hey, man. But and I hear people talking about burning bridges. Let me tell you something. You never know what bridge you may have to come back across.
Never know.
You never know which bridge. Some people think like, oh, I ain't got. You never know which bridge you may have to come back across. And some people say, well, if I burn the bridge, I can swim. You never know who might have to throw your life jacket.
Ain't that damn true?
I'm just saying what I'm saying. So that's all I got.
Today, what do we always say? When you get up there to them gates trying to get in, who he gonna ask you about? You. And how you what he did, but how did you react to it?
That's it. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. All of that is about that. So, man, just
Malcolm Jamal Theo died.
I heard.
I just want everybody just to keep his family in his prayers. He was a really good guy. So let's just keep him in our thoughts. His family, and he has a daughter. Keep them. It's just crazy how we go through these days of being mad at each other over BS, and something like that happened. This man went on a vacation to Costa Rica and didn't come back home. And we have to really think about how we all need to think about that you don't know when it's going to be the last time, Amen. And I used to do this blast for when I was doing Swing Out, and I would say every week to people in my blast that be careful because be careful of what you said, because you always remember what you said the last time you saw somebody. And that is super true, and it has happened to me twice in my life. And it's not a pretty thing to know that you're in odds with someone over really nothing.
Yeah.
And you don't get to say I'm sorry to each other. You don't get to fix it. You're just at their funeral saying, you pray, of course you pray about it, but that's it. So what you're really upset about with somebody for, is it really that big a deal?
Right.
Is it really that big a deal? No, I'm not saying you have to go hug and sing Kumbaya with that person, but is that big a deal to where you have all this anger and disgust in your heart? Okay, I'm done.
Amen. Well, look here. We finna go because I'm finna go sleep.
We finna go. Finna go to sleep. He literally finna go to sleep, like right here.
Look, like right here.
All right, y'all.
Look here. We love y'all. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. We love you. We love you, each and every one of you. We love you. We love you. And know this, before I tell you how much we love you, is know this. Don't stop. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't give in. Follow your purpose. Walk in it. Walk in it. Walk in it. Walk in it. Walk in your purpose. Follow that vision. Do that thing, whatever that thing is. And always know this platform right here, we always support you. We support you 100%. So don't you quit. Don't you stop. Don't you give up. And don't you give in. And I'll tell you how much we love you. We love you unconditionally. And
my heart is getting so much better. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't go look at some old videos of how my heart started. It's a real heart. Good night, y'all. Love you, country boy.
We out of here. Love you. We go.
I don't even have the thing to turn it off.
Oh Lord, I can do that. Watch me hit this button. Paya!